What you know about retro ghetto, collecting and playing retro.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's Go vlog.
Welcome indeed, and we are kicking this week's vlog off at the Stafford County Toy Fair. I've got an excited little boy with me. Can't wait to go spend my money. Let's go see what we can find. Wow, what can I say about that? That's the best selection of retro video games and the prices at a toy fair I've probably ever seen, and I got some amazing stuff for my collection at great prices, man. Absolutely buzzing with that. The one time you don't bring much money, I'm spent up, I'm only halfway around. I'm glad I got out of bed this morning. freezing. It's freezing.
Yeah.
That was the highly successful Stafford County Toy Fair, and yeah, I think I said in there, in the midst of my excitement, that probably the best retro haul I've had from a toy fair. Certainly from one stall. It was somebody clearly selling their own collection, thinning it out, didn't want it anymore, and just had amazing prices. We weren't here at the crack of dawn. Opening early bird entries 8. It was probably the best part of 8:30 by the time I got to that stall, but that's the beauty of a toy fair. These games are still sitting there. There can't have been many people seen them before me because, yeah, there were some amazing titles. You guys would have seen on the footage some of the stuff. I didn't film everything, but some of the stuff that was just sat underneath the table. So yeah, I swooped in and managed to get some fantastic games from my collection, like some staples that I was missing. Very, very happy with that. Obviously, I'll show you all when we get back. Little man's done okay as well. What have you got?
And one thing that I have got is I got something that was a bit, because I sneaked a little sword in that I got. And then I got...
You sneaked a sword on?
Yeah, so I got...
So you put an extra weapon on him?
So on this one, but then I got...
I definitely didn't teach him these skills. I'm not taking any blame for this.
I got this Roman, another Roman, so I got 2 Romans, and then I got this Ninjago Lego figure, so he's ninja.
So you got 3 Lego figures?
Yeah, so basically he's just got a cool sword, and the sword can attach to his hat.
Yeah, so you happy with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, okay, both happy. Whilst I'm this way, it'd be rude not to go to the local CEX, right? So let's fly to Stafford CeX and then back to the 3.0 and let's take a look at what I got. Well, that has been some start to the week, right? An amazing haul at the Toy Fair, some nice finds at CEX. Yeah, man, what a way to kick things off. Let's go back to the 3.0 and take a look at the haul, shall we? Okay, so that was a great start to this week's vlog, the Stafford County Toy Fair. Not the highlight of the toy calendar, but one I always try to attend. It's very local to myself and it's got a more relaxed feel about it. So I always try and take little man with me. As much as I love the NEC Toy Fair, it's very busy, there's a lot of hustle and bustle. So yeah, I always take little man with me to the Stafford County Toy Fair. And you know, we always enjoy our day out. But because I go almost every time, you do often see the same sellers with the same items. And just recently I sort of go more for the day out, more to take little man. And it's more in sort of like hope than expectation that I'm going to find something that I'm really happy with. But boy, today booked that trend. It only takes one store at these events, right, to make the trip
a very successful one. So yeah, we're going to get into everything I bought, but before I do that, I just want to quickly give you guys a massive thank you. So last week I explained the story behind these items. So just quickly, I found these at the Leeds Retro Gaming Market, sat on the floor in a carry bag. We were able to track down the owner of these. He generously said he was happy for me to auction these off for charity. So I chose a charity that's very close to my heart, the Alzheimer's Research UK. And yeah, you guys have been very generous in giving towards that charity. I just want to highlight the fact that the link to the Just Giving page will be in the description of this video. For every £5 you donate to that charity, I'll enter you into a raffle to win these fantastic prizes of the Neo Geo Pocket Color and the Metal Slug First Mission game to go alongside it. So yeah, we're not far off raising £2,000 for that fantastic charity. So once again, massive shout out to everybody. The link will be below. And yeah, you can win yourself these fantastic prizes. So, with that being said, let's get into what we found at the toy fair, shall we? Right, okay, so the first thing I found, there was a guy there, and he had a couple of empty boxes. Someone told me later on that there was a Golden Eyes one as well, but I missed that one. Now, viewers of the channel will know it's very much unlike me to purchase N64 items, but given the condition of this Nintendo cardboard, I just could not leave it behind. And that is WCW versus NWO World Tour. It says on it, no product is contained in this box. Please take it to a cash desk. I don't know if this was maybe like a Toys R Us. I remember they used to do something similar. But from what I can see, it is an official box. It has a sticker on it where you can win a tour to see WCW in an American arena. But this is in really nice condition. What sort of confirmed it for me? I mean, look at that. Very, very nice condition Nintendo cardboard. Once I opened it up, it had the manual, it's got all the N64 bits and bobs that comes with it. So yeah, I just picked this up basically to pass it on to a fellow collector. There's probably some N64 collectors in the Ghetto gang. So I will pass this on, but I got this for just £7. And like I say, I can't leave nice condition Nintendo cardboard behind, especially not for a price like that. So that was my first pickup. And as I just referenced, it only sort of takes one store, right, to sort of make the day. And yeah, there was a chap there, shout out to him, who was selling like a lot of his childhood stuff. And it seems that me and him are kindred spirits, because a lot of the stuff he had at his store was stuff that I had as a child or stuff that I enjoy. So I was just kind of like in awe as soon as I saw this store, and I saw all the video games underneath the table, because at a toy fair, the video games aren't necessarily the highlight, right? So they were just sort of under the table. And as I referenced in the video footage, I wasn't like their first thing as people were setting up. They could have been there a good half an hour, 45 minutes, but seemingly I was the first person, because as soon as I started digging through, there was a few other people sort of like came towards it as well and were like picking up the odd thing. But yeah, I was very happy. I got pretty much everything that I wanted to get, even though I didn't take much money, because as I say, Stafford County Toy Fair is one for me where I don't necessarily expect to go and find an abundance of things anymore. But let that be a lesson to everybody, right, including myself, that always take your standard amount of money. Never take a bit less, because that time you take a bit less is guaranteed to be the time that you see a load of stuff. I almost think of it as like taking water to bed. You know, if you take a glass of water to bed, you might not drink it. But that one time you don't take water to bed, you're going to be waking up at 3 in the morning for a drink of water. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. So the first thing that I picked up was this. Really happy with this. Just, oh man. Just a lot of nostalgia in this book here. This is the Street Fighter 2 official sticker album. Not one that I actually collected myself as a kid, but even just seeing that Merlin Collections logo on the front, man, that takes me back to those Premier League sticker books that I always collected as a child. And yeah, man, just some of this artwork in here is absolutely stunning. He was telling me that there's only actually like 8 or 9 stickers in this whole album missing. So whilst I know it's a long shot, if there is anybody out there that has some spares, some swaps, we could do the old got need. That's what we used to do in my playground back in the day. Yeah, let me know. But just flicking through this, it's not only the fantastic artwork and the stickers, but it's the litany of advertisements that are in here for Nintendo products. I mean, just look at the back. I actually had that Mario alarm clock. Not too long ago actually. I passed it on. You got all those Nintendo watches, you got the children's clothing, Game Boy packs, NES packs. Oh man, so you got like boxed Gargoyle's Quest for the Game Boy, £22 plus postage and packaging. I'll take that right about now. Double Dragon 2 for the NES, £45. And then you've got that Nintendo VHS look. It's all those old Mario cartoons, the Zelda cartoons. Yeah, there's so much like Nintendo advertisement and product placement throughout this, and like I say, flicking through it and just looking at some of this fantastic old Street Fighter artwork is awesome, man. I knew I had to have this as soon as I saw it, and this pretty much didn't really cost me anything. Like I say, the seller was very, very generous with his pricing, and I was able to bundle this in with all of the games that you're about to see. And every time I pick this up and flick through it, it just makes me smile, and that's what it's all about, right? That's what collecting and nostalgia and retro is all about, right? Just sort of taking you to that magical place. And yeah, this little book here definitely does that. There's no date on it. I'd guess in and around 93, 94 maybe, for the grand total of 60 pence that was. What can you get for 60p nowadays? Not a lot. Right, let's get on to the games then, shall we? So, as you've already seen, there was a lot of games, and there was a lot of PlayStation 1 games in the first box that I looked through. And the price so well that I was just sort of picking them up. There was one that I missed because a friend of mine, a chap that I see at a few toy fairs, I bumped into him again later on, and he picked up Abe's Odyssey, Oddworld, which I probably would have added had I seen it, but there was so much there, I think just like that slipped through the net. But like I say, my PlayStation shelf is very much all killer, no filler, and ever since I sold my PlayStation collection, and I've been like really added to it, I've been sort of really enjoying collecting for PlayStation 1, more so than I ever have in my entire life, to be honest. I've often spoke about how when I was younger we had the chipped version, so we would like get the copied games, so I never really had that nostalgia for the original boxes, but since I've had the PS2 TV, my PS1 and PS2 interests have definitely been piqued, and yeah, I'm just trying to add all the sort of like quintessential PlayStation 1 titles, and there's a few here. So I picked up Destruction Derby 2, so it's probably Derby, I think in America they pronounce it as Derby, but being Derby born and bred, my my mouth won't allow me to pronunciate it that way, so we're going to call it Destruction Derby 2. And they're all in really nice condition as well, like really good. And like I say, this has got just £6 on it. I don't know what these actually sell for, but when I see nice PS1 games that I can add to the collection for these kind of prices, I'm just going to pick them up. It all got bundled together anyway, but yeah, this is definitely one that I remember having as a kid. Yeah, I mean, what wouldn't you enjoy about just driving around smashing into other cars as a child? I used to do that on like actual racing games. I remember me and my brother used to have Tonka touring cars. It's probably because I wasn't good enough to compete. We used to drive around backwards and just literally smash into each other. So yeah, that was the first one, Destruction Derby 2. And then a classic one that I had as a child, Driver. I actually already have Driver 2 in my all killer no filler collection, so obviously awesome to add this. And like I say, everything was in such nice condition. You can tell that these were part of his own collection. Not very often you find sort of PS1 games in this condition in the wild, never mind at these prices. £4. And like I say, if you already own Driver 2, you're obviously going to be picking up Driver, so very happy with that. And then the next one I picked up was a game that I already own, but recently when I was going through my PlayStation 1 collection, I kind of, you know when you pick up a game and it feels light, I picked it up and there was no disc inside it, and I don't remember playing it since I bought it, so I don't know what's happened to it. I picked it up in a local charity shop. Now, surely I would have checked that there was a disc from buying a game in a charity shop, but I don't know, who knows, it was a while ago. Anyway, that was the classic, another one that I had as a kid, but clearly the copied version for about £2. Siphon Filter. I remember this being quite groundbreaking at the time and like a big release. This was like, you know, a AAA release back then, right? And yeah, like it says on the front, a must-have for fans of Metal Gear Solid. It sort of like jumped on that whole sort of like espionage thing, and these games I would assume are quite difficult to play today. I don't know if I could sit through and play through the whole of these games now. I'm assuming it's very dated, but like I say, very much nostalgia and a classic quintessential PlayStation title, which I'm all about adding to my collection. Speaking of which, a game which surprisingly passed me by as a kid. It's the sort of thing that I would have loved as a young adolescent growing up, given its sort of like adult themes and very much 90s humour, shall we say, and that is Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Again, I don't want to keep saying it, but quintessential PlayStation titles, right? Just games that define that sort of genre, that system. Yeah, I've seen the clips. I know what Duke Nukem's about. I know a lot of that sort of like breaking the fourth wall, him talking to the player in language that probably would not be used by modern day standards. It is actually an 18, this one. But yeah, again, £4. I don't know what these games sell for, but I'm assuming they're very good prices, right? So yeah, Duke Nukem Time to Kill. And then, what was probably my favourite of the PlayStation 1 finds, a game which I've always wanted to add to the collection. It's just not a cheap game anymore, and I think I said maybe on last week's vlog, or probably the vlog before, sorry, when I had those nice charity shop finds, that I found some amazing stuff before I had a YouTube channel, and I rarely talk about it because there's no point. If you've not got a video footage of it, what's the point, right? Some of it was like too good to be true. But one of those really good finds I had was actually in a charity shop in the town of Alfreton, I believe. I was there hunting for something else, and I just called into some charity shops, and literally on the floor, in a box by the counter, was a load of PlayStation 1. And it was like very much like I've already said, quintessential PlayStation 1 games. We're talking both the Final Fantasies, 2 of the Tomb Raiders, those kind of titles. There was probably like 5 or 6, and they were like £1 each. This was probably 8-9 years ago now. It was a good find then. Now it would be an unbelievable find, because you just don't find those kind of games sat in a charity shop on the floor. But regretfully, at that time, I was solely focused on Super Nintendo. That was all I collected. Over time, I then branched into Mega Drive, and to the point where you see where I'm at today, right? But at the time, all I wanted was Super Nintendo. So to me, it was like, great, I found these games. I can sell these and get some Super Nintendo games. But it's always been in that back of my mind, right? That, oh, you had those games, you sold them, now you'd like them back in the collection. One of those games was Metal Gear Solid. And yeah, this has become a more expensive title, and you'll be seeing it on screen now. But yeah, £15 he had on this. It doesn't have the demo, so there's no Silent Hill demo in here, but I'm not bothered about that. Again, really nice condition. Everything in here is very well looked after, pristine. The box, there's no cracks. The manual's in really good shape. And more importantly, got both the Metal Gear Solid discs. So yeah, this is just one that I've known I had to add to the collection, right? You can't really have a PlayStation 1 collection and not own the original Metal Gear Solid. So I knew I was going to have to buy it at some point. I just didn't know it would come along in this way, this cheap. So absolutely delighted, and yeah, a real nice boost to the PlayStation 1 shelf. Very happy with that. And then we move on to what was probably my favourite find. So the majority of what you saw was PlayStation. There was also stuff like, there was a few Master System games, there was some Sega Saturn games, but with me not collecting those and only having a certain amount of cash in my pocket, I didn't really look too hard at them. Given his prices, it probably would have been worth buying every single game he had. But I was just focusing on what I was collecting and what I wanted to add to my own collection, as opposed to buying things that were of good value or that I could sort of flip on down the line, just because, yeah, he was a sound guy and I just wanted to get the games that I actually wanted. So the last of the games that I picked up was for the GameCube. Now, it's rare I pick up GameCube games. Don't really have the nostalgia for GameCube, didn't have one growing up, but I do enjoy collecting for it. It's a Nintendo system. There's just not that many games out there that I want anymore. I've got a half-decent collection, but this is one that I've wanted for quite some time, and that is The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition Promotional Disc. So this is a 2003 release, and it is a compilation of the early Zelda games. It contains The Legend of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Adventures of Link, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. So, I mean, perfect for myself, because with me not being an N64 collector, to have 2 of the 5 good N64 games ever released on one disc is... I know there's a lot of die-hard N64 guys out there, right? So I'll be kind to the N64. We'll say there's 7 games. In all seriousness, though, it is good to have those 2 games. Obviously, classics, right? So yeah, with me not collecting N64, to have the ability to play those is fantastic, especially having sold my 3DS last year or the year before, which I bought to pretty much play through Ocarina of Time on. I can now do it again, should I wish to, down the line with this. It also contains the playable demo for Wind Waker, which is interesting. And when you look at the history of this, it wasn't a game that was actually sold in stores. It was one of these things that, the glory days of sort of like Club Nintendo, where you could sort of send off for this. And I've looked into it, and there was various different weird and wonderful methods to be able to get a hold of this through certain countries and different regions. In the UK, you had to sort of send off proof of postage of 2 Nintendo Selects or Classics games, or a couple of other games. So I assume you'd have to send off your receipt to an address. We're talking, like I said, a few years ago now. And then in return, they would send you this. I mean, what a freebie. Imagine nowadays getting a physical compilation like this just through proof of purchase of other things. Now, what do you get nowadays, right? I look on my Switch account, you get those platinum coins or whatever, and if you buy 37 games, you might get a background for your screen. Yeah, gone are the glory days. But yeah, just very, very happy to add this. Also because I own the Mario Kart Double Dash, which was the other way you could get this, which contains an empty slot for this, but I never had the disc. So I had it as a save search for a long time, just this disc. But it's in and around £50–20. I've just never pulled the trigger. But I'd rather have it, of course, with its own case and everything. So yeah, very, very happy to add a GameCube game to my collection. And like I say, it only takes one store, right, to make a trip worthwhile. Little man was happy, got himself some Lego. I was happy I got myself some video games. And from there, we of course went to the Stafford CeX, a place where I always visit when I'm in Stafford. But I don't have the most success there. I don't always find a lot there. But this time, I was really happy with what I found. And the first game that I picked up was Broken Star. No, that's not right. The first game I picked up was Dark Star Broken Alliance. You'll see there it says full HD. That's the selling point. So yeah, not really a game that I was too familiar with. 2010 released space trading and combat simulation game. Quite uncommon. There's only 5 copies of this in CeX. So I had a look at it. I picked it up. If in doubt, if you've never seen something before, always take a look. So I had a look. Saw there was only 5 copies in stock. Thought, well, interesting. But you know what caught my eye, guys. You know me, right? It's the sleeve cover. And I looked on eBay. And the cheapest I can find with the sleeve cover is £50. Now, admittedly, that's in better condition than this one, but still, it shows that it is somewhat uncommon with the sleeve cover, as it is without it, to be fair. So yeah, I definitely picked this up for £10. Unfortunately, the sleeve cover's seen better days, but like I say, an uncommon game, and just happy to have it, and it'll go with the rest of the 360 sleeve cover collection. So yeah, it was a good start, and then I've sort of took my eye off the ball recently when it comes to my Xbox 360 arcade races. I've been slowly sort of adding 360 arcade races to my collection. It's a vast, vast library on the 360. My favourite era for arcade races, to be honest. There were so many, just an abundance of them. And since I've sort of gone down this rabbit hole of trying to get them all, I've noticed just how many there are, some of which are very expensive. I just saw a couple in there which caught my eye. So one that I see quite regularly but I didn't own was Race Driver Grid. So this is a 2008 Codemasters game. Codemasters are the team behind, I think, Tokka. I think they're also behind the Micro Machines games, right, from what I can remember. So yeah, very much a esteemed history when it comes to racers. And I didn't know much about this game, but looking into it, this was like very well received critically. Sort of like all 9s and 10s across the board. You've got like 97% and things like that. And yeah, it just looks really good. It's one of them games that you sort of like, it's like career focused. You begin your journey by racing for other teams until you earn enough money to buy your own car, etc, etc. Ultimately, what it comes down to is that I want to play this game now. I had a very quick look into it, and yeah, it screams to me of a game that I will enjoy. So this is one that I'm definitely going to be putting in the Xbox 360 kiosk sooner rather than later. And as I say, there are so many arcade races on the system, but there's something about this artwork. I don't know, I just think it's really well done. I think it's a great cover art. I will be buying this again before long because it's part of the PS3 Essentials range. So yeah, we'll be seeing another copy of Grid in 3.0 before too long. But yeah, happy to have that. And like I say, that was just like a £1.50 game. So let me know your thoughts on Grid if you've played it. And then the next one, another racer. More of a sim-based racer. I say I'm going for arcade racers. I'm probably just going to go for them all, right? I'm not going to debate with myself what's an arcade racer and what's a sim racer. This is one that isn't seemingly uncommon. It's in stock quite a lot throughout the CeX network, but I'd rarely seen it, or rarely noticed it at least. And that is Race Pro. Opposingly to Grid, this did not review particularly well. You're looking at like 6s and 7s across the board. I think this tried to be Xbox's answer to Gran Turismo. It reads very much like a sim racer. Apparently, there's a lot of screen tearing, some issues with graphical fidelity, a lack of music. It does feature like real racers like Tiff Needell and things like that, and I think they tried to put a lot into it, but probably just lacked the execution of the glory days of Gran Turismo. But yeah, £5, so not the cheapest by arcade racing simulator standards, but yeah, another one that I wanted to add because I just hadn't seen it too often. So I think all in all, right, that was a very successful Sunday morning. with little man. Like I say, he got himself a few Lego figures. I got myself a load of video games. What more could you want from a Sunday morning? And there's loads coming on this vlog as always, but I think what we're going to do now is play some games. So a few weeks back, I delved into the Nintendo Wii library and I really enjoyed it. And I think you guys probably enjoyed laughing at me trying to fish with, what was it, that Sega fishing game? Oh man, I was doing it all wrong. It was probably me, right? I'm not a fisherman, as you've probably guessed. But there's still quite a few more games in the Wii library that I want to investigate and I want to play further. And like I say, I really enjoyed it because some of those games I played for quite a while after. I want to hopefully one day finish the Wario game. And there was also Pandora's Tower, which is quite a long game, so I never committed to finishing it, but I did put a good few hours into it. I'm not going to rule it out as one I'll finish one day. So like I say, it's just a great way to learn about new video games. And yeah, let's jump into it now, shall we? Okay, that's the first job done. Game selection. Second job, the mountain of wires and peripherals needed. Okay, so the first game we're going to try is Punch-Out! A game I've been wanting to play ever since I bought it. Not a cheap game on the system, it's like a £25 game or so. I figured we'd start here because, you know, it's going to be the most physical, right? Get the alley shuffle on. So yeah, I might need to sit down after this. So yeah, let's get into Punch-Out! I'm excited for this. The board. I need the Wii Fit board. So alley shuffle. Blah, blah, blah. I need to sit down before I start. Alright, we don't need this. Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ! Hands can't hit what eyes can't see. Oh, look at that! Going with a straight right. 1, 2, 3. You ain't getting up. 3, 4, you ain't getting up. 5, 6. You ain't getting up. 8, 9, 10. Knockout. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Keep practicing until you're ready. You'll get it. I'm knackered. I've only beat Glass Joe. Whew. Whew. Let's have one more. Okay, so next up, as you can see, is Mad World, a game that I'm almost embarrassed to say I've never played. One which I hear a lot of positive things about. Pretty much like a must own and must play for the system. It's got a very unique art style from what I understand. It's black and white with just sort of the additional red blood effects. And yeah, I hear this one's very violent and just one that I've been intrigued to play for many years, and no better time like the present. So let's get into Mad World. What's going on here? Oh no. This ain't for me. This ain't for me. Next! Right, okay, so after this failure of Mad World, we're going to switch the pace up a bit now with Ivy the Kiwi. I think this is linked to the New Zealand story universe from the makers of Sonic. Another one that's not particularly cheap on the system. I think it's got quite an interesting mechanic from what I remember when I purchased it and looked into it. So, yeah, let's find out what this one's all about. Don't care about the story, that's for sure. So let's move on.
Still acting like unboxing here. Come on. Let's go, champ! I think I need to go back to Punch Out. Right. I had a quick look at the tutorial. Oh no. What? Right, okay. Scoop her up there. There we go. No. No. Oh, this is frustrating, man. No, not for me. Okay, so before I get into a mountain of parcels that I need to open, let's have a quick rundown of the games I tried. Punch Out, really enjoyed it. It's everything I hoped it would be. It's basically like old school Punch Out, but with like Wii boxing controls. Really nice visuals. Definitely one I'll go back and play. Yeah, enjoyed that one a lot. Mad World might be a good game, but not for my old man eyes. I couldn't work out what was going on. Maybe this wasn't designed to be on 55-inch screens with you stood a few feet away, but I couldn't focus. Like, yeah, all the black and white. I struggled to see what was going on, which is a shame because in theory it looks like a nice art style, and I liked the sort of like hip hop soundtrack that seemed to be coming alongside it. But yeah, just wasn't for me, that one. Ivy the Kiwi, man. Basically, this little so-and-so here is constantly running, so you don't control him, you can just like control these vines, and yeah, it's just frustrating. It's almost like a puzzle game, but I only had a small go with it, but from the gameplay I had, I failed to see what's enjoyable about it, to be honest. Yeah, not for me, that one. Then I thought I'd play Red Steel 2, but you have to have the Wii Motion Plus. It's made me watch a 6-minute video about how you install the Wii Motion Plus into the Wii Motion controller, and I couldn't find it. So that's one on the back burner for another day. And then, guys, I'm a creature of habits. I went back to Wii Sports, didn't I? I absolutely love this. The golf especially. So yeah, after what was a bit of a failure, I had a nice, relaxing 3 rounds of golf and thoroughly enjoyed it. Right, okay, let's get into some of these parcels then, shall we? This is just a small selection of the amount of stuff I need to open, but this is stuff that's come from eBay. So we're going to jump into this first. We'll get to the rest of the stuff later. There's some big boxes down there. As I say, these are all eBay purchases over the last week or so. Some have been coming from Europe, so they've taken a bit longer to arrive. So let's open them up to see what's inside. So first off, we have... Right, okay, so this is one which I think I made a mistake on. So this is PlayStation 3 Essentials Soul Calibur 4. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I already have Soul Calibur 4. I got confused because there's 4 and 5 as an essential, and I knew I still needed one. I saw this on eBay at a decent price, picked it up, but I'm going to pass this on to a Ghetto gang member. I think Kingsley needs this one. So yeah, we're often sort of sharing and trading and swapping amongst ourselves on that forum. So yeah, I'll just be able to pass this on to Kingsley. But I think that is the only double, right? It's the only mistake I've made. Speaking of which, I've actually recently printed out a new list. We're getting closer to that master list, guys. I've had a lot of people asking me for the list or the definitive list, or even just a list of ones that I still need. We're not quite there yet, but we're very close to having what I think is the first full, complete list of PlayStation 3 Essentials. There's just a few that we're just trying to clarify do actually exist. And we're trying to make sure that everybody owns one copy of each, just for ultimate proof. But yeah, that's going to be getting released to you guys very soon. So if anyone is interested in that list, just hang tight and we'll be sharing it out very soon. But yeah, let's open up the rest of these parcels, and there is going to be a bit of a theme, unsurprisingly, with what these are. Okay, so this is Lego Lord of the Rings. Now, I think that means I just need one. I'm just taking a look. Yeah, this just leaves one more. So if this is Lord of the Rings, the one I still need is The Hobbit. And the reason that got left till last is because that wasn't on the original list. I think the original list that you could find on sort of Wikipedia didn't contain The Hobbit. So yeah, that's just leaves me needing one more. And next up,
Very well packaged. An additional cardboard sleeve inside the bubble envelope. It's sealed, so that's probably why. I don't go out of my way to buy them sealed, but if they're cheap enough, I mean, why not? And hey, speaking of, there we go. So that's the full Lego set, and it's nice to get this one sealed, right? It's the official PlayStation 3 seal as well. There are a lot of PS3 games that have been resealed online, but yeah, this is the official PS3 seal. So yeah, nice. And I would have paid a lot for that because, like I said, I don't pay a lot of money for sealed games, so I'm going to guess that was like less than £10. I'll put the information on screen now. And that is a little bit of a milestone. There's a lot of Lego games. I'm looking at them now, and that's all the Lego games done. So yeah, happy with that. Next up, this is one that I think has come from Europe. Where has it come from? France. So many of these only got a European release. And speaking of which, coming soon to a video, I'm getting, I don't even know how many, I've lost track, but there's going to be a huge box arriving of some of the rarest PlayStation 3 Essentials ever made, some of which have probably never been in the UK before. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Okay, so this is probably an example of a fake seal. It feels like cling film. This is another one that wasn't on that original list. Myself and Kingsley discovered this one whilst we were researching for it, and that is Sorcery. Again, not one that I think got a UK release, hence me getting in from France. It's a PS Move game. There's quite a few of these PS Move games, random ones. But yeah, Sorcery, this might be one to pick up if you're on your own Essentials hunt sooner rather than later. Yeah, somewhat uncommon. Okay, and that takes me to the last parcel, which has also come from Europe, I believe. Where did it come from? It's come as far as Northamptonshire. So no, not from Europe. Right, let's see. Okay, so yeah, these weren't cheap, but these aren't easy games to come across. And again, they're both quote unquote, actually these are both sealed. Oh nice. And these are official seal. Oh, I'm really happy with that. There's quite a few in this range, and none of them are overly common here in the UK. So that is Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield Hardline, both of which have got the official PS3 seal. Yes, I'm really happy with that. These were roughly about £12 each, I think, from memory. Not the cheapest or easiest games to find, and there's quite a few more in the Battlefield series as well. So yeah, to get them with an official seal, yeah, really happy with that. And that's what, how many more are we close to the target? 1, 2, 3, another 6, well 5 because that's a duplicate. 5 more towards the target. I'm sure there'll be more coming on this vlog. We've got one hell of a montage coming on this vlog as well. The pile of games is growing by the minute. But yeah, really happy with that. Some nice additions. Yeah, man.
Retro Ghetto.
Okay, so I've come on a quick trip to the locals and nipped in the local charity shop on the way. Found one game that was worth picking up. That game was House of the Dead 2 and 3. It cost me £1.50, £5 trading. So yeah, well worth picking up. I'm heading to my local CeX now. If you watched Wednesday's video, you will know that I got a copy of Cheeky Boys. You do have to say it like that, by the way. And it's not in the best condition, and I'm pretty sure there's a better one in my local CeX. I'm going to head down there now, see if I can swap it out, trade in this House of Dead, see what else they've got, check a couple of charity shops, and then get back to the 3.0. Let's go. So very much a fly-in visit today, but still a successful one. Let's get back.
Oh,
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's not every day I get that luxury. I'll take that.
I think I'm going to need a bit more practice on that one. I'm enjoying it though. You know when you grab an arcade racer and as soon as you start playing it you think, yeah, this is one I can get to grips with. Because all too often I pick up racing games and I'm like even on the recent like Need for Speed games, I put it in, I think it was Need for Speed Heat, and I started playing it and I just, yeah, some games just don't gel straight away. But even though it doesn't look like I'm doing too well, yeah, I'm really enjoying Grid. And the fact that it's got my name and says it is a bonus for me, because Callum isn't the name that you often find, right, in places. You know, when you go on holiday and you get key rings in seaside shops, yeah. I was that kid that sadly couldn't always get a personalised key ring, so yeah, real first world problems there. But we are back from the locals, and very much a case of job done. I got my credit note from the Wii game that I found, House of the Dead, and that looks a lot better, right? Shout out to the manager extraordinaire, Manesh. Switched them over for me. This one's in really nice condition. Only thing this is missing the hang tab, but I'm not that guy, right? I don't really care, to be honest, about hang tabs. You can always switch them out. But yeah, very much happy with that. Cheeky Cheeky Boys is a game that I might play this evening, because this is one that I'm really intrigued to play. This past week, should I say, I've been playing Thunder Force 3. I've also been playing a bit of Steel Dragon on the PS2 TV, so I've been very much in a shmup kick, whilst of course still dipping in and out of Prince of Persia, which I will finish. I'm determined to finish it. But yeah, so my trip to CeX, I got a couple of gifts from Manesh. Actually, he had a couple of things he's held for me from his own collection that he was looking to thin out. I've got this nice statue from Watch Dogs, so we'll try and find room in here for this guy. And he gifted me this comic. Love the artwork on these Street Fighter comics. Love these, honestly. I just love flicking through them. I do say that one day I'd like to draw. I'm sort of collecting Posca paint pens. I've got some nice paper and stuff. I just never find the time. I always think one day I'd like to sit down and do some nice artwork. It just hasn't arisen. But one day it will happen. We will draw a picture. I might even do it on a vlog one day maybe. And do it as like a time lapse. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see, because I'd love to draw like a Street Fighter character. I think that'd be interesting to do. It's been a couple of years since I've sat down and drawn anything, so yeah, long overdue. But thank you very much for that, Manesh. And I got one more gift, and that was from Matt. So I've spoken a few times now. When I go into my local CEX, there's a chap called Matt. I've never met him in person. We always like passing ships in the night. Every time they say to me, he's coming in today, you've just missed him or whatever. But he always leaves essentials for me. He left me this copy of Star Wars The Complete Saga. Matt knows I've got this, but he's such a sound guy, he's happy for me to add this to the pile that we're going to do on a giveaway here on the channel. So yeah, this will kick off the next PS3 Essentials giveaway that we'll do down the line. And yeah, the doubles are stacking up, so yeah, we'll do that giveaway very soon. And there was a game which caught my eye. Speaking of arcade racers, we've picked up a couple already this week. This is, I don't know how to pronunciate it, is it Baja? Baja Edge of Control, I think it's like an off-road race. It was funny because Manesh was saying to me when this first came out, he had someone ask him for Badger. Badger Edge of Control. That'd be a very different racing game, right? Badgers in the desert. But yeah, don't know much about this one. Just an arcade racer. One that you don't see all too often. So yeah, another one that I was very happy to add to my collection. And a very successful trip to my local branch. Massive shout out to Matt. Massive shout out to Manesh as always. And I'm going to jump back into Grid. I've got to get better at Grid.
I think I'm ready for round 2 of Super Punch Out. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and what better way to start the day than by opening some parcels, right? I had a pretty late one last night. I was playing Prince of Persia, mostly played it in handheld mode from the comfort of my bed. yeah, we're getting through that game, still enjoying it, but still got a long way to go. It's not a short game. But once that's done, I'm going to sort of, yeah, get into the backlog. There's so many games I want to play. I keep buying new games, right? But yeah, I'm determined to finish Prince of Persia before I allow my eye to be caught with something else, right? But anyway, let's get into this sizable pile of parcels we've got here. So this first one is from Ghetto gang member Steve. Shout out to Steve, top man. And yes. So Steve reached out to me and he said he's got this. It's box only, and he thought maybe I could do something with it. And that is Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I would like to go for the full Spider-Man set. They're becoming quite pricey. But yeah, it is a set I'd like to have. There's a little bit of water damage to this and to the manual inside, but it's very kind of Steve to pass this on to me. So if anybody out there has the disc that they want to sell, let me know, because obviously it'd be great for me to complete this. Like I say, these are not cheap games, and Shattered Dimensions is one that I've been intrigued to play. You can play as various different characters from the Spider-Man universe, and yeah, definitely an intriguing one, this one. So yeah, if anyone's got a disc, give me a shout. And yeah, it'd be nice to hopefully get this completed one day. And up next, speaking of the Ghetto gang, this has come from the other side of the world. I believe New Zealand, where my friend Chris is from. Let's have a look. Yeah, Auckland. So this package has come a long way. So let's see what we've got in here. Looks like we've got a PS3 Essential. And what is that? Right, okay, so first things first, we have got a note. So let's get into the note. Kia ora Callum from Aotearoa. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sure I am. New Zealand. Kia ora, is that a thing? Isn't that a squash here? That's like a cordial, right? A small token of thanks for all the many hours of entertainment you provided. Keep enjoying the ride. Best wishes, Chris. Massive shout out to Chris. And Chris, you must have the best handwriting I've seen in a long time. I can barely read my own writing. So yeah, shout out to Chris. What have we got here then? Okay, so we have got a copy of Mag. Online multiplayer only game. I'm assuming this has probably had the server shut down, right? Not that it matters to me, I'm just going for the PS3 Essentials set. This is not a game that I currently own. I think this is on one of my many lists of games that are on the way. Much appreciated. I'll be adding this one to my collection, and then should I add this game again down the line, I'll put that on the pile that we're going to do as the giveaway that I've already spoke about. But yeah, massive shout out to Chris for this. Much appreciated, my friend. And it always means that bit extra, right, when it's come from so far away, and as I say, come from a Ghetto gang member, so massive shout out to Chris for that one. And he's enclosed what looks like chocolate. What we got here? Oh, mate, you have smashed it with these. First of all, I like a bit of nut in my chocolate, right? So, we've got Canterbury hazelnut and creamy milk chocolate. That sounds fantastic. Marlborough sea salt and caramel brittle. That sounds equally fantastic. And West Coast buttermilk caramelised white chocolate. You guys are smashing it out in New Zealand. New Zealand Artisan Collection. Whittaker's. Isn't Whittaker's the company that makes like hot chocolate and stuff here? Like quite expensive high-end hot chocolate? I might be wrong, but these look fabulous. I think is the word. Massive shout out to Chris on that. And yeah, I'll be letting you guys know how these are, or Mrs. Ghetto will, because I know she's going to have her eyes on this one in particular. Thanks again, Chris. Much appreciated, my friend. I'll pop that note in with my copy of Mag. And the Essentials pile is growing. Okay, so next up, what have we got here? What have we got here? Interesting. I've got a note, firstly. Hi, messaged a while back to send a few games. I then realised 2 were original Xbox. Anyway, here is the game I said I'd send. Better late than never. I've also included a steelbook I got years ago. Hope you can make use of it. Love watching their channel every Sunday and happy to contribute to the collection. I used to work for GameStation back in the day. Shout out to GameStation, man. I've got a lot of love for GameStation. I wish I still had all the promo stuff I got over the years. Mate, I wish you did as well. Also worked at CeX, so watching your CeX hunts is fun to see the other stores. Keep it up, Peter. Appreciate that, Peter. Thank you very much, my friend. Game Station brings back memories. Just a different time, wasn't it? They were very good with retro. I remember there used to be one in Derby, and then all the retro in the window. And back then you could sort of go into shops. I remember going in like the day or 2 days before a game release, like the new Pro Evo would come out, and I'd sort of say, oh, it's Pro Evo coming, and they'd just be like, yeah, don't tell anyone. I used to buy it and get a couple of days early, and all that kind of stuff's gone now, right? But yeah, massive shout out to you, sir. So what have we got here then? Yeah, so this is the game you mentioned, Ghostbusters. Not one that I've got in my collection. I've heard good things about this. I'm sure this featured the original actors as the voice actors, right? And it plays like a movie would. I'm sure that's the case. I've definitely heard good things about this. Let me know in the comment section if that's right and if this is a good time to play through. And Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Steelbook. I own this, but I've got the PlayStation 3 version of it, I think. I don't know. I don't think this would fit in with the 360 collection, right? Because it's not tall enough. I'll check into that, but if not, I'll pass this on to somebody else. I'll probably put it in the Ghetto Gang or something, and yeah, pass this on, because this is an absolutely stunning steelbook. I've showed it on the channel before. Beautiful artwork of all the different Marvel and Capcom characters on that one. But yeah, massive shout out to you, Peter, my friend. Much appreciated. And this one's intriguing me. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's been wrapped in black paper. Got a real macabre look to it. Right, okay. What is in here? I've not bought a trusty knife. I'm woefully unequipped this morning. I'm only running on 1 cup of tea, that's what it is. I'm not at my best. Probably going to need a knife. Yeah, this is all that training we did on it. Punch out. Okay. What have we got? Is there anything else in here, or is that just... that's just bubble wrap. I'm always careful now, right? After that time I had to go digging through my bins for that Lego figure. Okay, what is in here? Ah, okay. Here we go. So, this is PS3 Essentials, episodes from Liberty City. So Grand Theft Auto 4, episodes from Liberty City. Now, I had somebody reach out to me in the comments. I think his name was Wesley. Yeah, shout out to Wesley. Much appreciated, my friend. He reached out and told me he had this. And like most people that aren't collecting Essentials, he'd rather have the standard copy. So I said, brilliant, I've got the standard copy. You send me this, I'll send you that, we'll do a swap. So that's exactly what we've done. I looked at this game recently because it went on to... there was an eBay listing for it. Now, one sold in January of this year for £10. I think this is like a £6 game at CeX, something like that. And we'll get to why it's a strange release in a second. But this must be rare on Essentials because there was a recent listing on eBay that just went sky high. It went for like £40–50. And I remember thinking, somebody must know something I don't. Like, this game must be rare or something. Yeah, for people to be bidding that amount on it. But like I say, I'm still in that process of trying to figure out what's rare and what's not when it comes to Essentials. All I know is I'm happy to have it. Wesley's happy to get the standard copy, so it's just worked out brilliantly for both of our collections. But yeah, the reason this is a strange release is that in terms of the Essentials, why would you release this? Because there's the sort of like all singing, all dancing edition. This is basically just the 2 DLC, the additional stories that came to Grand Theft Auto 4. But you can also get the version that's got the game and these 2 versions. So why would this get an Essentials release? Why would you buy this, right? When there was already the game released with this included? A real strange one. But like I say, that's the weird world of PS3 Essentials. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just delighted to have it. Episodes from Liberty City, especially if it does turn out to be a rare one, which that eBay listing and pricing would suggest it was. So yeah, massive shout out to Wesley on that. It is much appreciated. Thank you for reaching out to me, my friend. And yeah, that has worked out well, and hopefully your standard copy is arriving any day now as well. Right, okay, so this is the last of the parcels for now. Postman's not been today. And yeah, once again, I'm regretting not having a knife. Oh no, there is. Seems a bit excessive, right? But it's within reach, of course. There we go, I'll put that down before I do myself a mischief. Right, we're in. we are in. What is this? Is there a note? There is a note. A small token of gratitude for the hours of entertainment. All the best, Dan. Dan the Dude 66. I wonder if that's his Instagram name. I'll pop it up on screen if it is. I remember having a conversation now about this. He said that he had something for me that was like a bit of a fixer-upper. But this is something I've never seen before. It's definitely seen better days. But I've never seen this. I don't even know about the game, never mind this collector's edition. That is Frontline's Fuel of War Special Edition. I do not know anything about this game. I'm going to try and eye in the box because, as you can see, the box has seen better days. But it's a really nice collector's edition, this. Look, it opens at the front. Yeah, never seen this. I didn't even know the game existed. What is in here? All sorts by the looks of it. So, a copy of the game itself. And you guys will be seeing on the screen now the footage. You'll know more than me. I've never come across this game in my life. Inside here we have got what looks like a poster. Yeah, it's a poster. Frontline's Fuel of War. It's a nice poster as well. Look at that. Like a movie poster. Honestly, I never knew this game existed. And again, that's what I love about the library. This era of gaming, there's just so many games coming out, right? So many like B releases. Not everything had to be AAA back then. THQ game. So we've got the official soundtrack. We've got the art book. And interestingly, a t-shirt. So that's what the big box was for. Oh, nice. Stray Dogs. Look at that. Stray Dogs, Frontlines at War. I love a promo video game t-shirt. That is awesome, man. I'm going to have to look into this game now, maybe get it played, because if I'm going to rock the t-shirt, then I need to know what it is I'm rocking, right? So, yeah, massive shout out to Dan for that one. And like I say, we'll try and fix this box up, because I'd love to be able to display this in all its glory in the collection. It doesn't look too bad at all from the front. So worst case scenario, we'll display it forward facing, but yeah, I'll give it a bit of an iron, try and fix it up. Really happy with that. Thank you very much, Dan. Much appreciated, my friend. Let me know if you've played this game, because, yeah, I've genuinely never even seen it before. Right, that, I think, is everything for now. And what that does mean is we can crack on with my favourite part of the week. Cue the montage.
Montage.
Okay, so what was about 5 minutes for you was about 3 hours of work for me, but the room has never... Well, I'm not going to say it yet because there is still one more thing we need to take care of here in this room. So, last week I framed the edition of Retro Gamer magazine that I was fortunate enough to be featured in. And I asked you guys, I put it to a poll. I thought it should go behind Master Chief, Mrs. RG, and the majority of you guys thought it should go here. Now, a couple of you rightfully pointed out in the comment section that it does look better here, but whilst this is prime real estate for something in the future, it could go there temporarily. And I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it up just using like Velcro strips. It's quite a light frame. So we're just going to put it up there with a semi-permanent solution so it looks great. And as I say, it'll be easy then to move going forwards. I was going to say should, but when I get a nice large item that will fit in that gap, or we decide to extend the Mega Drive wall, whichever comes first. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's get this put on the wall. I can't recommend this Velcro enough. I've found so many uses for it since I ordered a roll from Amazon. I've got this on the back of like multi-socket extensions. I'll show you guys. So behind here, these multi-socket extensions, these have got Velcro. Just gives that great semi-permanent solution, stops things from moving about. Yeah, there's so many examples of this that I've used, even to mount this standee onto the door here. This is a thin piece of Velcro, so it can easily come on and off, because obviously you don't want to be sort of drilling or hammering into the door itself. So yeah, great hack, or many great hacks can come from this stuff. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a bit in each corner. I've measured up on here. I'm going to go with the middle of the wall. I was potentially going to put it to this side, with it being semi-permanent. I was going to put it there so it didn't sort of encroach upon these two guys here, but I thought, if in doubt, just go symmetrical, right? So we're going to go bang in the middle, put it there. It doesn't matter if we use it slightly in front of the frame. And yeah, let's crack on. And there we are. And now I can say it. The 3.0 is looking better than ever. What a perfect way to end this week's Ghetto vlog. What a long week it's been. Seems a long time ago since we were at the toy fair, right? I've tried to give you guys a feature-length vlog for what is a long weekend. So I hope that you're all enjoying the Easter break with your families. One more time before we get out of here, I just want to highlight the giveaway. All donations will be going directly to Alzheimer's Research UK. The link is below, and I'll be announcing the winner of this on next week's vlog. If you enjoyed this one, let me know via the like button. If you're not already, consider subscribing, because there's never been a better time to do so. The next few weeks are filled with conventions and fairs, and I am of course going to be bringing it to you all via this channel. As always, play your games, keep it retro, and one more thing, we're going to be doing some massive changes in here coming Wednesday. In a bit.
Welcome to the Retro Ghetto!
Lock into the retro ghetto. Come and have a look around the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples settle. Lock into the retro ghetto.